Hello, my name is Sophie and welcome to this week's video. This week's video was meant to be a vlog of the little holiday I went on with my boyfriend and my dad, but whilst we were away I didn't film more than a minute's footage. I thought I would sort through all my new books. In the last week, having visited my mum and picked up a bag of my books from her house, and then visiting my favourite indie bookstore, which happens to be a massive discount like Book Barn, we got my dad paid for me because he's great. I bought 19 new books for 60 quid, which works out at less than £3.50 a book, I think, and some of them I got for 50p. I like to put my books in an order so I don't have to decide which book I want to read next, and I can just pick up the next one and go. It's essentially me being lazy in the future, and to take out another element of decision making, I'm just going to put them in order by author's surname, because then I'll get a mix of the new books I bought, the old books I already have, and then I'm going to put all the books that are sequels that I accidentally don't have the beginning of the series for at the end, and then once I've made my way through all of them, maybe I'll order the books that come before them. So I thought I'd just kind of chat whilst I sort my new books out. The first two books I'm pulling out are Percy Jackson's books 3 and 4. I imagine these ones came from my mum's house, and I imagine books 1 and 2 are in one of the other bags of books that I left there. But I think next time I see her, I won't need to pick up another bag, because this selection of books between the bag and this box, I should be good at least till the end of the year. I'm currently reading my 30th book of the year and we're in July, so even if I get to 60, this amount of books will cover it. But next time I'm at my mum's, I'm going to sort out all the books I have left and make sure that all the series are grouped together so that I don't end up with book 3 and 4 without the beginning again. Yeah, this book is called Ace of Spiders. It's a sequel. The original book's called Bitter 16. It was, I don't know if you can see it, it was £2.99 and I got it for 50p. When the books are that cheap, you can take a chance on whether they'll be any good, because it's not like you've wasted that much money if they're not. The Princess and the Suffragette, it's meant to be a sequel to The Little Princess. It was in the section of books for like kids, like 7 to 12-year-old kids, I think. But it just sounds like an amazing concept, and I think the cover is beautiful, and I'm going to read it, and then if I like it and if I think it's important, I want to give it to my godmother's got 3 girls, so I want to I might pass that on to them. This book is, I normally go for like fantasy sci-fi. They're generally my favourite. YA fantasy sci-fi is generally my favourite genre, but this book looks like so painfully chick lit, and I just think it's so pretty, and I love books with long titles for some reason. So the inaugural meeting of the Fairvale Ladies Book Club, it's almost like unnecessarily long, but I just really like it. How many times in this video am I going to have to sing the alphabet to myself to remember what order the letters go in? I'm not the kind of person who can alphabetize based on, oh, these are all W's, so they can go in whatever order. No, we're going full alphabetization. So Holly Webb comes before Brianna Wolfson. Oh, I bent this one. Gutted. I mean, I'm not that gutted, because I'm the kind of person who will bend the spine of books, because 1, I find them more comfortable to read, and 2, I just like seeing a book that looks like it's actually been read. I'd rather have a library of books that look like they've actually been loved and enjoyed than a bunch of books that look like they've never been touched. If you want to see a full list of all the books I bought, I wrote a blog post of including links to all the books that were in the bag I picked up from my mum's house, all the books I bought from the High Peak bookstore, all the other books I picked up over the holiday. There's some from charity shops. I went into WH Smith, and then the last set I bought was actually this beautiful set of Mallory Blackman's Noughts and Crosses. I've not even taken it out of the packaging yet. But this whole set was £8 for 4 books. That's like £2 a book. But living in a 1-bed house and having not read that much before we moved here, I've not got masses of storage. We have 3 shelves of DVDs downstairs, which realistically I know I should get rid of because we never watch DVDs, between all the streaming services we pay for, we really don't need them, but I just can't bring myself to get rid of them. But if I did, I'd have way more book space. So I just need to brave it and do it, really. I was really excited to find this book at the discount bookshop because I've really wanted to read this. I've seen it a few times in Asda and in Waterstones, and I've seen a few people talking about it, but I picked it up for £2.99, so I'm really excited to read this, and then if it's any good I'll put the sequel on my to buy list. I also picked up in WH Smith while we were away. These were buy one get one half price, so I saw A Nearly Normal Family when I went for a browse in Waterstones the other day, and I just thought it sounded really interesting, so I'll read you the blurb real quick. It says, your 18-year-old daughter goes out. You don't know where, but she says she'll be back by 11 PM. 11 PM comes, but she isn't. You text her, but no reply. Then 2 AM, the front door opens and you hear her go into her room. She's okay. She's home. You check she's okay. Yes, and you turn over. The next morning your daughter is arrested for murder, and all you can think is, where was she last night? Why was she late? And what will you say when the police ask you where she was? And I just think that sounds so interesting. And it was buy one get one half price, so I got this, and Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race. I remember this book coming out and thinking, I don't know, but it was back before all of these racial discussions started, and back before I got a real insight into the importance of anti-racism versus just not being racist, and I've been looking to pick this up for a while, so being able to get it in this deal was very exciting. Last time I did this, I did it based on how excited I was to read the book, what the genre of the book is. I tried to alternate some of the more kind of normal books, and by that I mean not fantasy, with fantasy books. I tried to alternate a heavier one with a lighter one, so I've got a few books that were about mental health. Yeah, I'm hoping that doing it by author kind of mixes it up enough that there's almost no order to it, or at least it feels like there's no order when I'm reading it. I forgot my alphabet again. I feel like I've got to a point where the only thing I want to talk about is books. I could quite happily sack off everything else I want to do in a day just to read, and I like that I'm at that point, but also I'm also at the point where I'm like, do I make this my career? Do I look for a career in publishing? But also I'd really want to become a published author at some point. I don't want to be one of those people that looks like they're working in publishing just to get a shortcut to a book deal, which I really don't want to do. So I'm at a strange window where I love books and all I want to do is talk about books, but I don't want to look like I'm trying to cheat my way into the industry. And also I know nothing about publishing, so that probably doesn't help. I can see the bottom of the pile, which is reassuring. I did actually read a book on my Kindle because there was a tiny bit of time between finishing the last paperback, or the last physical book I had in the house, and being able to pick up some more from my mum's house and go to the book bargain shop. And I really enjoyed reading on the Kindle, but I feel like once I've finished all these, I want to buy more on the Kindle, but also I just love reading paperbacks. I love a hardback in theory, like physically holding hardbacks is really satisfying, but actually reading a hardback, I'm incredibly lazy and it's a lot of effort. Oh, I'm having such a career crisis. But I think I want to open a bookshop, so maybe that's what I'm going to do with my life. But I don't have any business skills. So this has been the video where I sorted out my books, talked about books, and had a bit of a career crisis. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you would like to see the full list of books that I have acquired in the last week, I will link my blog post in the description. I hope you and the ones you love are happy, healthy, and staying safe. Even though the world is kind of going back to normal a little bit, it's still very strange, so I hope you're doing alright. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.